All right, which Parashat we in?
Parashat Vayeshav.
Vayeshav. Oy. I played the wrong one. Okay, so now say Parashat Vayakum. You know, it's like Vayeshav, Vayakum. Parasha. Rabbi, you know what the Parasha is divided? What does it talk about, the Parasha? What is it talking about? Vayeshav, yeah. The same thing like we did last year. Same thing. Nothing changed, believe me. The same thing. The Parasha is divided into two different parts, or three different themes in the Parasha. The first one talks about the selling of Yosef and his departure to Egypt. I have to warn you today from the way I speak. I burnt my mouth very bad, and I have blisters on none of my fingers. I got blisters on my mouth, so it's very bad. So his departure to Mitzrayim continuing into the case of Yehuda and Tamar, and the end of it is the beginning of Joseph's or Yosef's lives in Egypt. Our parasha is always learned before Chanukah. Why? Because Parashat Meketz always have to be read on Chanukah, so that always comes like that. So let's talk a little bit about the parasha. The natural events in the parasha, whatever happened after last week's parasha, this parasha should have been very, as they say, tranquilo, very calm, you know. Yaakov Avinu, after 20 years for working for his father-in-law, after a very intense acquaintance with his brother Esau, or I don't want to call it Esau. I mean, like an Esau. Somebody say Esav, call him Esav, you know. I mean, if you call somebody, his name is John, you're going to call him Juan, you know, he's going to get, no, it's not Juan, it's John, you know. So call him Esav, you know. Esau. After the whole incidents that happened with Shechem and company, always problems with Shechem. And his daughter Dinah, you know, finally, I mean, after this whole big ordeals over there, he finally comes to what we call the promised land, you know. As it says, Vayeshav Yaakov be'eretz megurei aviv be'eretz Canaan. Okay, guys, take please the lounge chairs. Get us some beer here, some hors d'oeuvres. Let's kick our feet in the sun, you know. Chill out, right? But instead of that tranquility, that peace of mind of retiring into the horizon that Yaakov Avinu was looking for, not only he get trouble, he get double trouble. He gets him in full automatic mode. And I'll tell you the truth, not so much different than what we have today in Am Israel in Eretz Israel. You know, finally after 2,000 years that we came to our land. Okay, we're gonna plant our trees. Balagan, what a catastrophe is going on there. It's like the divisions among the people, the extremism from all ends. Gay parades, sad parades, you know, Arabs, knives, bombs, Putin, you know. So, please, guys, give me a break. Give time out, you know, hello. There's no end to that. I mean, you would think after we got kicked out of Spain, we were pulled out of the land, we were taken to Babylon, by the rivers of Babylon. Then we were taken to Rome. Then we came back. We went to all over Europe. We got kicked out of Spain, right? Kicked out of Spain. We settled down in Turkey. We went to Germany. Got bombarded out, gassed out of the chimneys. Again, man, if you think about it, it's like sometimes I say, Ribono Shel Olam, how much can we take? How much more can we suffer? I mean, it's just enough. Listen, horrible things happen to a lot of nations throughout history, but nobody has it like the Jews. No one. Please, enough. I want a break. Give us like 100 years of like kicking our feet out and having a little bourbon over there and some guacamole, sitting with the tequilas or something, like the sombreros down, Enjoy life a little bit, We can become like Switzerland, Why is this? Of course there is a reason. I'm not quite sure I always want to know the reasons. But as I say, keep your reasons, just give me the peace. But, nevertheless, there is a reason. And I'm really serious. If you look at it, it's exactly the same thing as Yaakov. We entered the land. Oh, finally. I thought you were going to come today. We entered the land. As soon as we entered the land, our troubles just seems to be worse. You would think, I know I'm going on and on. It's not so much about the Parashat right now. But you would think after all we had gone through in Europe, in what they did to us, at least they would be on our side and kind of ask for forgiveness. All those darn Europeans, not only the Germans. You think the French were any better? You think the Greeks were any better? Or the Italians? Or the Dutch? Even the Dutch. We think that because of Anne Frank, or whatever you call this girl, all the Dutch people were Jew-loving people. Absolutely not. They hated the Jews just as much as the Germans. Everybody hated the Jews. So after what you did to us, give me a break. No, we came to Israel, balagan. I know of people that came really, literally, 1946, because the war ended in 1945. 1946 they came to Israel. 1948 they were in the front line of the war. It's crazy. But that's the story, and you should know whatever happened. You should know that whatever happened to the Avot, to the fathers, happened as individuals, happened to us as a nation. Or will happen to us as a nation. That you should know. Eitan, how are you? You're looking sharp with a jacket and all. All right. As long as you don't wear a tie, it's fine. So, and really, if you look at what the Jews are asking, all the Jews are asking is just to leave us alone in our land. Just keep us. Guys, I don't mind if you do the work, but just be quiet. I can't hear myself. I have a burn in my mouth, so I can't hear myself. So, and you look at this. The Midrash says to us the following, right? On the question is how is it that we thought we were going to come to the land of Israel, or Yaakov Avinu came to the Israel, to that matter, and instead of light, he found darkness, agony and pain, and so on and so forth. So the Midrash says the following. Amar Rav Acha. Rav Acha says, "B'sha'ah she'atzadikim yoshvim b'shalom u'mevakshim lishev b'shalva ba'olam hazeh." When the righteous people want to kick their feet and take it easy in this world, right? Ba Satan umekatreg, comes the devil. Instead of going down to Georgia looking for a soul to steal, he comes down and says, wait. Lo dai lahem b'ma shemetukan lahem ha'olam haba. It's not enough on the piece of mind. I don't know. You don't have so much of a mind over there, but for the tranquility in which they're going to have ba'olam haba, ela mevakshim lishev b'shalva ba'olam hazeh. They want to have it. They want to have it too. How many times you want to get paid for the job you did? How many? Make up your mind. That's in. And Rabotai, look, Bereshit Rabbah. It's right there. And what happened as soon as Yaakov wanted to settle down? Miyad kafatz alav rogzo shel Yosef. All this turmoil. All Yosef started. He started to have dreams. The stars and the moon and. To that they will give him some lithium something, and we'll make a battery out of him. We'll give him some psychotic drugs, and he'll be okay. We won't have Yosef like this. And look at what happens. I mean, Yaakov, his beloved son. Guys, again. Never prefer one son over the other. If you feel that you cannot be equal to your children, don't have them. Don't have them. You should love your children equally. And if you see that you love one more over the other, stop for a moment, take a very good look at yourself, because what you're doing is wrong. And I'll tell you more than that. You'll pay for it. You'll pay for it. It happened throughout history. You'll pay for it. So, of course, his son was taken from him also for the 20 years or so. So the first thing that we see, that the whole entire Parashat, this whole Sedra, this whole Parashat Shavua, is on a downhill motion. It's a downward motion. The brothers all of a sudden became jealous, and Yosef, they had a reason, they didn't have a reason, but it's people of that stature, it's not considered to be a good quality. To other people, you can say, you know what, they're absolutely right. Absolutely right. What is it, prefer son? Why is it prefer son? However, to people at that level, yes, I know they're people too, but to people at that level, they should know better. They should not be jealous. And they did, of course, something that is really a terrible thing to do. They sold their brother. And they lied to the father. And then you see how those things happen, one thing after the other. It is a chain reaction. It starts with jealousy, which is like an act of almost like unreasonable pattern of thought into doing horrific things. So after that, Yosef goes up from goes down from the level of the little wonder boy, the prodigy. Sits down with his daddy, learns. Everybody's in the field. He's learning Sodot, learning Kabbalah. Right, the little prodigy. All of a sudden, Yallah Habibi, we'll put you in a sack over there with a bunch of Bedouins. Go clean toilets in Egypt. Goodbye. Also, he's going down. Even Judah, the eyes don't look at him, of the brothers don't look at him the same. They start blaming him, start feeling bad, and all of a sudden he's doing what he's doing with Tamar. I mean, it's crazy stuff is going on here. And at the end, after Yosef, finally he gets some stability. He gets things under control. He's doing some damage assessment. He's hustling and bustling. It gets to the house of Potiphar, everything's okay. All of a sudden, his wife wants to play Desperate Housewives, and it's all over. And he's bichlal being put together into the pit. I mean, he's in the bottom of the pit, literally at the bottom of the pit. Those days, jails weren't like we have today. Like with the library, with the gym. They used to dig up a hole in the ground. You want to see how a pit was? Look at the series Shogun. That's how I know. They used to they put them in the pit. They take a hole in the ground. They lay it up with the bricks so the walls would not fall. They throw you in. They close you up. That's it. You stay there. That's jail. Not like today. You got rights. You can get a PhD in jail. You can go illiterate, doesn't even know how to sign your name. Well, you go out for a PhD, you can win a Nobel Prize out of jail. Women will send you letters. And it's like
You also have 6'5", 250-pound black guys trying to rape you in the shower.
So don't take showers. Yeah, don't take showers. And don't use soap. Don't use soap. Enough from experience, right? Okay. But don't blush. So let's see what's going on. There's, of course, there are stories. There's internal things that are happening in the stories, and really, what in the world has to do with Hanukkah? What has to do with Hanukkah? What is this? And why is the story? And I'll try to concentrate a little bit on the story of who? on the story of, who is the main focal point of this parasha? No, Yehuda. I want to talk a little bit about the story of Yehuda and Tamar, and we'll see what this whole thing has to do, because nobody talks about it. What does it have to do? I don't know why we don't talk about these things. It's it's interesting. It's juicy stuff, It's all written in tablets. Let's talk about this, When we talk about killing kosher, killing kosher cows, that's. It says in Midrash Rabbah, Rabbi Shmuel said, "Ki anochi yadati ta machshavot." Based on what it says in Yirmiyahu, I knew what people were thinking. And look at this, what happened. The Shvatim, the brothers, were busy contemplating selling Yosef. Yosef was busy with either with his dreams, or he was busy with his own imprisonment and so on and so forth. Reuven was busy with his problems. He has a lot of problems. Everybody is, Yaakov also, and everybody, it refers to Besakov and Ta'anito. They were all unhappy. Everybody is Sakov and Ta'anito. Fasting, bad things happen to me. Oh, bad things. Yaakov, as the Midrash says, Sakov and Ta'anito. Yaakov with his problems, occupied with his problems. Everybody's with the problem. Nobody's happy. Everybody is like, Parim of Tisha B'Av, like this. And everybody is not happy. And everything looks bad. Yehuda is taking up women, is going to harlots, down in the valley. What is this? Imagine somebody today, like a chief rabbi, going to like a strip club. It's like, what are you doing? Yehuda is and believe me, Yehuda is not a political nomination. He's not the chief rabbi. Yehuda is who's Yehuda? No, Rabbi, come on. Not the Rabbi. He's the grandfather of Mashiach, right? And that's exactly what happens. Everybody was busy. Everybody was preoccupied. Everybody's occupied with his own problems. HaKadosh Baruch Hu does what he needs to do. And what was it say? HaKadosh Baruch Hu haya osek uvoreh oro shel melech HaMashiach. He was creating the light of the Mashiach. What does it mean? It says in Megillat Ruth, "Ve'ele toldot Peretz," and these are this is the history of Peretz. Peretz holid et Chetzron, veChetzron holid et Ram, veRam holid et Aminadav, veAminadav holid et Nachshon, veNachshon holid et Shelomo, veShalmon holid et Boaz, uBoaz holid et Oved, veOved holid et Ishai, veIshai holid et David, not Menachem Mendel, David, right? It says Ve'ele toldot Peretz, and this is the history of Peretz. When was born Peretz? In our parasha. Peretz was born in our parasha. When everybody else is busy, feeling sorry for themselves with the problems that they have, preoccupied with their own self, closed in with their own work. Nobody cares about anybody. Everybody cares only about themselves. What HaKadosh Baruch Hu does? Okay, that's when Mashiach is going to come. Because it's everybody is in darkness. That's when Mashiach comes, right? And look at this in the middle of all this like balagan. It's confused. It's a mess. It's not tranquilo, bichal. It's a mess. What is going on there? There's jealousy. There's blemishes. All of a sudden, Peretz comes from this interaction between Yehuda and Tamar, and through this mating, the zera of Mashiach ben David comes in the maybe one of the darkest points in early Jewish history. The family was completely falling apart. There wasn't a segment in the family that was actually functioning. In previous episodes of early Jewish history, well, you had some parts of the family that functioned. If it wasn't Ishmael, it was Yitzchak. And later on, Ishmael also became a good boy. If it wasn't Yaakov, it was Esav. It was Yaakov. All of a sudden, guess here, everybody is like, basically the family is falling apart. From that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes the Mashiach. And Yaakov Avinu, and there's a great grieving and so on and so forth, right? Because he lost Yosef, right? The Goel came. redemption starts. Basically, redemption had started then. If you ask me when the Geulah started then. Redemption started then. Not now, not today. It's a process. It's taken so long. The Geulah started there. By the way, one of the arguments, I'm gonna make you, one of the arguments, we're talking about Mashiach, so let's talk about Jesus a little bit. One of the reasons why Jesus is not the Mashiach is very simple. Mashiach, or to that matter, anybody who claimed he is Mashiach and didn't have to be, is because Mashiach should bring peace into this world, and love into this world, and build the Beit HaMikdash. And none of this had happened. So, and I'm sure you're going to get it right before Christmas. You're going to be hitting like a ramen bowl with all these people. How about, bring it up. It's always a Jew, even this. Jesus had to, get him out of the closet over there somewhere, But tell him, look, Habibi, he's a Jew, we don't talk about family to strangers, leave my people alone and shut them up once and for all. But, just think about it. So, you see from the Geulah, and Geulah Mitzrayim, by the way, had started when? Also before. The Galut of Mitzrayim started before, but the Geulah, the redemption of Egypt, from Egypt started then. Yes, with the selling of yourself and so on and so on. You might get now somewhat of a clue to see what we're supposed to do in order to bring Mashiach. And I said to you 1,000,000 times, is not to wait for Mashiach to come and say, hey, Shalom Aleichem, yo, Mo, or Mashiach, or whatever you call him, It's not to come and say him, it's to bring him about. He's supposed to do the work. He's supposed to do the work. And he's supposed to do the work now. As I told you, the darkest days of the year, we're coming up to the shortest Shabbatot. The next 2 Shabbatot are the earliest Shabbatot, 4 or 9, candle lighting. It's ridiculous. At least here. Other places might be earlier, might be later, but here, 4 or 9. Go to England, Bichlal, it's like, 3:30 or something like this, they light candles. It's dark. Yes, that's when Chanukah comes, and this is how we all connected. So, Chazal tells us there are 2 different types of conduct in the world, 2 different ways to the things operate in the world. The first one's Hanaga Yeshara. It's a direct thing. And the second one, Hanaga Ptaltelet. It's very sidewinding. You're going in and out like a road up in the Alps. That's the roads in which you take a Ferrari, you drive it up, or an Alfa Romeo, and then you don't drive it down the LIE. This is a waste of your spine. But this is when you do that. So there's a straight way, there's the highway, and there's those siding roads. A straight way when everything is clear. Everything is clear, right? You know exactly why you're going, you know exactly what you're doing, you know what's the target, you know what's the purpose, and so on and so forth. And everything is working like a German watch or like a Swiss watch. Tip top, no, doesn't miss a minute, a second. It's according to plan. And in a crooked way, that's when you walk in, you want to go to the east, you end up in the west. You want to go west, you end up north, and you wonder, what am I doing here? What's the purpose? I don't know what's going on with me. And the story of Yehuda and Tamar is this kind of story. What a crazy story. What a crazy story. With the brothers, and we'll get to it. All the signs shows us or indicate to us that the whole entire world is going in one direction, right? And many people are very panicky about things and so on and so forth. You should know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu already had planted the seeds a long time ago for the redemption. So don't to direct us to the right place. And as much as a seed when you put it into the ground, and we said it many times, for the people of Yetziat Mitzrayim, those people who were in Mitzrayim, for them a miracle would have been what we call today nature. Why? Because for 40 years, I mentioned those kids. They were born in the desert. They grew up in the desert. What do they want? Well, you want something to eat. What do? Go in the morning outside of the tent. Take your man. Take a bite. Imagine what you want to imagine. And you got it. You want shawarma. You want sushi. Sushi. You don't have to have Jiro thinks about sushi. You can just think yourself and you get sushi, For them, that's nature. All of a sudden, Kadosh Baruch Hu comes and tells him, you know, you're going to take seeds. You see the seed? Yes. What do I do with it? I eat it? No. Put this in the ground. Seed into the ground. Yes. And then what happens? Well, the seed has to rot. There's a seed that to rot. Yes, the seed would rot. And then what happened? From this rot, there's going to be a little stalk coming out. I'll put it to you in like a fast frame, you know, you'll see it coming out. And then what? Well, then you're going to have other seeds. And then what are you going to do with it? You're going to harvest them. And then what? And no. You're going to make flour. You're going to mix it with water. You're going to put it in the oven. You're going to take bread. What? That's a miracle. This whole process is a miracle. Oh, you're right. And guess what? That kind of bread goes into Bet HaMikdash and Lechem HaPanim. The man doesn't go in. The miracles in which we create, that goes to Lechem HaPanim in Bet HaMikdash. Not the bread that comes from Shamayim. So you might get a totally different way of looking at what a miracle is and what is not. Whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings you from the world is not a miracle. That's the way things are. The way He tells us to do things, that's a miracle. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu pick up humans to be the messengers of God on earth? I think because we can have, first of all, a sense of humor. And we could have what is so-called emunah. We have emunah. We could develop emunah inside of us. We're able to do this. That is the miracle. The miracle is in our existence that we are able to do things that only God can do. And that's how we become partners in creation. We cultivate and we share and we do all these things. That's a miracle. So if you see, but if you think that this, if you take this process, for example, of creating bread, you see this is a crooked way to create bread. Why do I have to go like this to create bread? Let HaKadosh Baruch Hu send me man, I want bread, poof, I eat bread. But it doesn't work like this in the world. And after the hard work of doing that, tell me, what could be better than the smell of fresh bread? Even if you have gluten intolerance, celiac, and whatever, that smells good. So you see what a crooked way we had to go for something so miraculous. The miracle always have to go in such a way. And so is this form. You know, this whole entire decline that the Avot, the Shvatim, Yaakov, and the children were up here, this decline to the fact that his grandchildren will be slaves and will be butchered only to create redemption. Only to create redemption. That has to be. That's the way it has to be. And you should know that this is, by the way, true not only on a national level in terms of like our people. That has to do with you as well. On a personal level, those things, that path, that zigzag path that we take throughout life, it's true to us as well. And I told you a million times, lefum tzara agra. Yeah, the more hardship, the better the reward. If you see things that everything is clicking, is going your way, you should be very, very, very worried. Very worried. You put a seed, boom, gets a tree, you got worried. You go to the slot machine in Las Vegas, don't go. It's a waste of time, waste of money. If you're going to Las Vegas, might as well just go to the Grand Canyon. Don't go to the machines. I can tell you probably, maybe, I'm the only person who went to Las Vegas and didn't even gamble a quarter. Not even nothing. So I'm not doing it. When we went for a company, they gave us at the time money. I bought a doll to my baby. It was better. I was looking at like these people, like zombies. You know, like I said, no wonder everybody believes in zombies. Now look what's going on. It's crazy. But overall, those things, so if you go and you put a quarter into the slot machine and you go like this and boop, boop, you know, the lights come, you better watch out. You better watch out. Something is not, things should not go like this in this world. Things should not go like this in this world. And why is that? Because the great light can only come from great darkness. If, for example, right now in this room there's a lot of light. If I will turn another light, It won't make any difference. There's light as it is. But when I turn off the light, even the little light makes a big light. And then I could realize that the light in which we need to bring to this world can only come from darkness. So therefore I can tell you this more. So if you have a kid that gives you problems, instead of being the most difficult kid, if anything, if you already want to love a kid, so therefore take the most difficult kid and love him more than the one who is good. I'll tell you more than that. Yeah, I know everybody's going to be angry with me. But maybe this wasn't the case. Maybe if Esav was the favorite, not just because he brings food, maybe we won't have Amalek today with us. Maybe we'll have 12 tribes from 2 brothers. Maybe we would not have this division in us. Maybe, me or there. Who knows? So Parashat Vayeshav comes exactly before Chanukah, as we said, as you could see, to really give us a great hint on the essence, the spiritual essence of Chanukah. People think Chanukah is a mini Christmas. We get gifts every day. We go to parties. We light the little tree. They light the menorah. No, I'm sorry. We light the menorah. They light the tree. Okay, they have both of them. No. It is not the case at all. Chanukah is a very, very, very spiritual holiday. Unfortunately, we don't treat it as such. The essence of Chanukah is to remember that specifically when things look dark to you, the darkest time, this is the time for hard work. That's when we have to put the push. That's when we are not afraid. That's when we push forward and we get every ounce of energy and we push and we push and we push and we encourage other people to push. That's the time to avodah. In other words, Chanukah, or the darkness, is the time to do what we call Mesirut Nefesh. Mesirut Nefesh is a very interesting concept. Limsor is to hand over. Mesirut Nefesh means dedication. But Limsor Nefesh is you hand over your... What's Nefesh? We know we have few levels of existence in our spiritual entities. We have Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, and 2 other Chaya, Yechidah, and so on. Nefesh is the part of our Neshama that is in charge of all the... It's the id that we have inside of us. It's all those urges that we have inside of us that wants us to party and rock and roll and eat and drink and sex and all those wants that I want, and the me that is so important. And you take it, that nefesh, you open the compartment, or you do like Superman, right? You reach inside yourself, you take it out, and you hand over the nefesh, because that part of me is an obstacle. In other words, selfishness is an obstacle in the spiritual work that one needs to do. Egoist is a very bad thing. A selfish person cannot be a spiritual person. I don't care what anybody says. So I'm taking and I'm moser, I'm handing over my nefesh. That part of me, I'm not thinking about what's good for me anymore. There is something to do, and I'm doing it. That's a hero. That's a gibor. That's a gibor. All those heroes in the battlefield who thought about themselves, the big guy. No, but I'm nothing against big guys. I'm a big guy myself. Good-looking big guy. But, when it came to this, excuse me, you go, I'll be right there. Oh, all of a sudden comes the guy, he doesn't think about it. He goes and he saves his people and sometimes gives his life over because he handed over his selfishness inside of him for the benefit. There was time to work and he did it. He was the man. B'makom she'en ish tiyeh ish. When there's no man, you'll be the man. And that's something great to remember. It's an unbelievable concept. And by doing so, then you see the great light. Ha'or Gadol, the great light, can only reveal through that. The light in which we, of course, do in Chanukah, during candle lighting. That light of Nerot Chanukah is what we call Gemar Tikkun. And every Jew should remember that. That's why the candles that we light in Hanukkah are sacred. We can't do any melacha in them. We can use the light. They're sacred. Even the oil that we use for them, that we dedicated, is sacred oil. We can't, I have a little bit of oil, you let me put in my salad. No, you can't do that. Why? Because that is a spiritual light that symbolizes the Gemara Tikkun, how things will be complete. Look at the Maccabim, what they did. It's unbelievable. Right? And and that candle, even the poorest of all Jews, that lights for him. And you'll see, even in Israel, secular, they light the menorah. They light the menorah. And that's why you understand why it's important to light the menorah inside your house, not in the middle of town. I don't understand what's this thing that we light menorah in the middle of every town square. We light menorah. What is this? We're doing oil fields here. What are we doing here, right? Rebbe. What I have to light for the goyim. No, I have to light for the Jews, not for the goyim. Right? So they put a Christmas tree. I have to put a menorah in the middle of the street. So next time they put a teepee, what do I have to do? Shoes on? What am I gonna do? I put a canoe up. What do you want me to do? That's a crazy minhag. They're missing the point. The whole point is inside, to show each and every one of them. And that's why it's important. That's why the father lights the menorah candle, because the father should give an example of what is a Mesirut Nefesh. When the parents are dedicating themselves to the children, they're giving their children the necessary tools to continue doing that. Because if they will be selfish, that's when it ends. Look in Europe, they're so selfish, it ends. It's over. And no kids. So it's inside the house. You give an example. You're the father. You give an example of Mesirut Nefesh, of selflessness. And it's inside, and this is something that you should know. Yes, the menorah should be seen from the outside and inside. Both people in outside, to show that we do the tikkun, and the light in the house for your children as well, to your family as well, that you can do the tikkun, and this is how you should be. And this is what we say, Ha'or Ganuz, the hidden light. If you want to know what's the hidden light that was created in the 6 days of Bereshit and was kept for the righteous people, that is the light of the tikkun, of selflessness. The light that created from the friction that you did, your effort to bring about the light in this great darkness that we all in. You can't be selfish. I mean, you could, but you're not going anywhere with it. You're going to be like a blind, as the Rambam says, a blind man in the middle of the darkness. There's no way for you to see anything. Only by doing things like that. So they say on the Greeks, the Greeks wanted to darken the eyes of the Jew. How? The Torah is our light. The Zohar says, Israel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu ve'aTorah echad hem. The entity of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Am Yisrael, the Torah is one entity. The Greeks wanted to break this connection. They want to disconnect Am Yisrael from its Torah, and as a result of that as well, to disconnect Am Yisrael from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. To lose what we call the Jewish neshama, the Jewish soul. You lose the Jewish soul. And how? So of course the war, we always say, was not just a war, a battle against the Assyrians. When the war wasn't against the Greeks, it was against the Assyrians, but against the Greek culture. So it was a cultural war. Or if you look at the word Yavan, if you change the order, you get Noi. It's all about being pretty, looking good. As I said to you many times, the video culture that we are experiencing today is all as a result of Greek culture, without getting into it. If you want, Ari can give you reruns on what I did before. So it's all about that. And look at this. I mean, where do you hear craziness that, for example, that people ask me, Rabbi, can I shave my armpits? Yes, if you're a woman, you could. But you're Greek? You're a man. Ma akhpat lecha? Is it crazy? And then they look at you like you're some kind of a mountain man. Yeah, guess what? I am a mountain man. Just I'm here, kind of flat on this level here, but what has to do with why do you care so much about your externalism? And that's all Greek about. The Greek culture represents all the externalism in this world. And you have to say it is nice. But it doesn't mean that it's nice, therefore it has to be for me or me as well. It's nice, it's fine. I see. Why is that we get, Rabotai, you take a guy, you give him a stone, and then he creates a pillar out of it or a statue out of it. Whoa, you go to a museum. I can tell you this, there are such beautiful people in this world that no artist can imitate. And yet we don't put them in museums. You look at trees, how beautiful trees are. Beautiful. You look at a tiger. It's an enormous thing. It's a work of art. A tiger is a work of art. You saw a mountain in your life. A mountain. You think a mountain is a piece of stone. It's not. It's unbelievable. So why aren't you getting excited over mountains? You get excited only about what man creates, because that's the influence of the Greek culture on us. And they try to draw Am Israel towards that externalism, which is really empty from any true meaning and purpose. There's no depth to it. It's all nice, like a China doll. It's beautiful on the outside. Comes pressure, it breaks. Throw it in the garbage. You take a piece of rock, you break it. You try to break it, it'll break your hand before you break the rock. We don't look at things like that. So, and you should know that movement of becoming Greekified was a style to look like a Greek, to shave your beard as he walks in. Yeah, you do look like a Greek. Yeah, to shave the beard, not to look like a Jew. What's your problem to look like a Jew? Grow your beard. Wear your collars. Right? Everybody needs to look like a Greek. We need to look like a Goy. There's nothing wrong with that. For them. For me, I'm different. Look at the test. Imagine if HaKadosh Baruch Hu would have made us over a weird color. I don't know, green. We can't escape from it. This is our test. You really want to show me how proud you are in your colors? Well, look like a Jew. Why are you looking like a Goy? There's nothing wrong with Hispanic people. I mean, I have Hispanic blood in me, so you can tell by my temperament. However, you need to look like a Jew. Why you look like you look more Hispanic from the guys from Dominican Republic? Well, what's wrong with you? Right? So many Jews adopted this global lifestyle. They lost the Jewish grace. Jews are graceful. And listen, regardless of the fact that there was a big Bet HaMikdash still in Yerushalayim, great darkness came to the world. The Bet HaMikdash did not provide us with that light from that point on. So, all of a sudden, this reality, we have Matityahu and his children, his 5 kids, right? And they're going to this great war against, at the time, the greatest emperor of all. And they win. And you can't explain how is this possible they can do so. 5 people operating against such great force. But they did. And there is one thing that, and that's, by the way, how most of the time the Jews win. It's not by great forces. It's not by anything else besides Mesirut Nefesh. Selflessness. They're handing over their life for the cause. We get all mesmerized by kamikazes and all people like that, but look what we did. And it's not always through war. You don't have to die to do Moser Nefesh. What Jews do, not thinking about themselves only. I want to see when was the last time somebody opened a Ramadan hospital for all people, right? Or Allah Akbar, emergency room for all people. Well, we have Beth Israel, and we have, Long Island Jewish, and we have Mount Sinai, and we have all these places. Everybody goes there. No, show me one Muslim hospital for all people that will be open to all. Show me one, Guan, uno. Well, we did it, and we're still doing it. And you should know what is exactly. Let's go a little bit into the Mesirut Nefesh. What does it mean? I'm going to be a few minutes late, not much. I'll make it quick. The war between the Jews and the Greeks is mainly the war between Kedusha and Tum'ah, purity and impurity, between what we call Kodesh and Chol. Kedusha, holiness, is like a diamond. Look at this like a diamond. A diamond, not only that is a strong material, that everything is formatted in it to the point that you get the diamond. Everything is organized. But also, so therefore everything is a solid entity. Not only that, when you put it in a ring, it's always in the middle. You never see a ring with a diamond off center. It's always in the middle. Kedusha, that's Kedusha. So, what does it mean, Kedusha? It is always concentrated around one center point, one focal point. That's Kedusha. And in other words, it is always formatted around a purpose. If that core is, that's the purpose. There is a purpose. So if you find a place that is operated with one purpose, through unity, and everybody share that desire to be a part of that purpose, you'll get Kedusha. Now, it could be in your shul, it could be at home. You can have Kedusha at home. The first stage to get holiness at home is to understand that all the parties involved, and mainly the two Adams, the husband and the wife, are formed together under one purpose to establish a Jewish home. And that is the form, this is the core of condensation in which they evolve around. Then they have a jewel, then they have a diamond. A shul, a congregation, a community, the same thing. When you want to go one way, he wants to go another way, I want to go a different way, there's no Kedusha in that place. Because we don't share the same purpose. There's no unity and solid formation. If you look at the atoms of a diamond, they are lined up all like this. Beautiful. If you look at the electronic microscope cut of a Japanese sword that was folded many times, you see all the layers are aligned with no disturbance in that. That's Kedusha. Tum'ah is separation. Tum'ah is separation, like sand. All the wills and the wants of the person is spread through everything throughout his life. In a person also, you have to have one core that everything evolves around. And everything that you do should be geared towards that cause, towards that core in which you condense and then you bring holiness into your life. What does it mean? The message of the Greeks was, listen, be a bissel a Jew, be a little bit of a Jew, a little bit of an athlete, a little bit fashionable, a little bit this, buy this, learn that, learn a little bit philosophy, Sophocles, Aristotle, Sheeps, you know what I'm saying, right? Go to theater, be an open-minded person. Do this. In other words, take your cake and divide it into parts. Remember, there's no contradiction what I told you in the morning, you see. Be little parts of this, little parts of that, right? And what will happen? You become so fragmented that at the end you don't know what you want anymore and you don't know who you are anymore. I told you years ago, a Talmid of mine that went to Israel, you want to go to Israel. I said to him, Chaim, why you want to go to Israel? What's so great about Israel? He says, Rabbi, I'll tell you this. In America, the Jews, they play tennis, they play this, they golf, they do a little bit this, they learn Torah. Everything is a part of their life. So it depends on how part your Torah is. That's how you. But there's a parts. Everything has a part in his life. He said, in Israel, Torah is your life. That's something that we have to remember. You can go to work, you can do all these things, but do they share the common goal, all collapsing towards the center of the core that it's Torah? Everything is geared towards Torah. Why are you doing sport? You're lifting weights. For what? You're ugly. Nobody will go after you. So what? To be healthy. Good. So that's why you be healthy, so you can learn more Torah. Good. That's good. Why do you eat? Why do you go to a restaurant? There's no need to go to a restaurant. Why? Okay, so I need to eat. Why do I eat? To be strong, so I won't stop. Why? So I can learn Torah. Good. That's good. But if you say, Rabbi, I need some time off. I need some time to learn. I need some time to go to Bahamas. I need some time to go. I don't know what I have always for Bahamas. That's, I guess, the only place I know people go to. Right? I need to go on vacation. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do... You want to take time off from work? Not a problem. Terrific. Take time off from work. Check yourself into the local yeshiva. Don't come out there for 2 weeks. That's it. Well, what's wrong with that? Go home to sleep. Have a bottle of wine at night. Terrific. All is good. That's your vacation. Why your vacation have to be away from that? You're fragmenting yourself. You don't know anymore who you are, what you are. Nothing. You are, in other words, you are lost. You're lost. And then all of a sudden, your cashier with the truth. And you know what they say. There's, I have my truth, and he has his truth. And then there is the third part of the truth. The truth. But that's not right, because the truth is only one. And if I have my truth, then it's different than his truth, and it's different than the truth, I'm living in a lie. So the truth that you tell yourself is the truth, and you know it's not. You know you're living in a lie. You come to the point that everything melts down. It simply melts down. It falls apart, including, and first of all, and utmost, and most dangerously, your neshama, your Jewish neshama falls apart. It melts down like hot water and sugar. Melts down. Goodbye. You don't know anymore who you are. All of a sudden, you look in the mirror, you find a goy. Hey, how you doing? ¿Qué pasa, hombre? And you will find yourself saying things that you say, oh my goodness, I just said that? Oh yeah, I just said that. Yeah, I don't believe in God. No what? Yeah, show me one person who came back from Olam Haba. Oh yeah, you know what? I don't have a problem eating pig. Before you know you're eating a pig. Slowly, but that's how it melts down. Why? Because not everything was caused to that, because you did not moser nefesh. You didn't hand over your behemic part. You let that behemic part run you over. It made a stampede over you. It doesn't mean you're not allowed to enjoy life. Does not mean that. But first of all, before you tell me you want to enjoy life, you know what joy in life is all about? You don't even know what is joy. So how are you going to enjoy? So, and look at this like this. And that's the Greek message. You to yourself. What do you care about the other person? Take care of yourself. And that's exactly the case of Er or Onan regarding the Yibum. Listen, mitzvah Yibum is a very difficult mitzvah. Mitzvah Yibum is a difficult mitzvah. I mean, it's like a hard thing to think about. I go with my sister-in-law, with my wife's brother. I can't do it. Yes, you're going to do that. Why? Because it's not about you. This mitzvah teaches you how to be selfless, not selfish. You're doing it because it's a mitzvah, and that's what you need to do. That's why when a person does not do a yibum, they spit him in the face and they throw the shoe and so on and so forth. Or actually, they spit in front of him, That it's they didn't want to do yibum. They did not want to do yibum. And today, in Hebrew, the act of masturbation is called onenut, based on the person named Onan. So therefore, the act of masturbation is a selfish act. Selfish. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you a favor. In order to have kids, you're going to have a little bit of pleasure. And you don't want kids, you just want pleasure. And that's masturbation. That's idle effort. And in the eyes of the Torah, there's nothing more disgraced than idle effort. Masturbators Anonymous. It's a terrible thing to do. Terrible. That's why Chachamim was so much against that. Don't tell me Kabbalah. We're not talking. We're talking about the idea behind that act. Selfishness, extreme selfishness, and again, this mitzvah teaches us how not to be an egoist, a selfish person. It teaches us to do mesirat nefesh. In other words, to take all the wills and the needs of my soul, and in other words, all the tum'ah, all the separation, all the fragmentation, and to basically hand it over for a higher cause. For a higher cause. To concentrate on one thing and one thing only. The essence of creation. Tachlit HaBriah. What in the world HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants for me in this world? Why was this world created? And why was I put in this world? I told you a million times. The Ramchal, in his book, in the introduction to his book, Tafkido shel ha'olam be'olamo. How does a man stand in front of God? That's the essence of creation. What does HaKadosh Baruch Hu want? What does he want from this world? And why did he put me in this world? That's what it is to do. What I want doesn't make a difference. Right? Mesirut nefesh is not only being willing to die, physically to die, on a higher cause or something like that, but even more than that is to live for the sake of heaven. Not only to die, even more than that, lichyot l'shem shamayim, not only to die l'shem shamayim. Kiddush Hashem could be a greater Kiddush Hashem by every single moment of your life when you live, which is the spiritual ability of every person to concentrate on the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to act for Am Yisrael, to act for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and to act for His holy Torah. What are you willing to do for the Torah? What are you willing to give up? Why are you willing? So when you think that you coming here and you're doing somebody a favor, you cannot be more wrong than that. It's a favor it was given to you to come here. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did you a favor, that He made it available for you to come. You should worry about all the other miserable people that could have come and chose to watch the Packers against the Lions. They could have come here today. But you come here today as he walks into the door. When you come here today, you are doing it. You are doing this for Am Yisrael. You're doing this for the Torah. You're doing this for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's called Mesirut Nefesh. A person can have a baby 3 months ago, 2 weeks ago, right? His wife is, he says, Habibi Motek, I'm coming to learn. That's Mesirut Nefesh. That's not something that if you give all the money in the world, you could pay for such a act of chesed towards Am Yisrael. You're not just learning the Torah for yourself. You're doing a chesed with Am Yisrael. You're doing something for the Torah, so Torah would not be forgotten. What are you willing to do more? Are you willing to do anything, or just full of hot air? And you should know that this world with the Greek, we always say, and we always will say, is not over. That war, that battle takes part every single day, every single moment, both inside of us and outside of us. And it has to do with all of us now more than everybody else, because right now, the darkness is great. And you can see, look at the newscasts in the world, this great darkness is coming. And you know the dawn was right before the sun started to rise, is the darkest, right before dawn is the darkest time of the night. And the word shachar, dawn, shachar, alot shachar, comes from the word shachar like shachor, like black. So we are in this darkness now. And we need a tremendous mesirut nefesh in order to be able to turn this darkness into light. And when you light the candles, sit back, contemplate on the candles. Remember what we said today. Try to look at the state that we are at. Look inside of you. How is this great puzzle being played? What part of the puzzle are you? What's your job? Do a self-reflection on who you are and what you do and how you live your life. I told you this before. A million times. I love this one, right? Besides this year, of course, because we have an extra month. But the distance between Rosh Hashanah and Chanukah is like from Chanukah to Pesach. And when Pesach comes, 50 days Shavuot comes, and then the year is over. So what I want to tell you is, we're going to stand all in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Be'ezrat Hashem, and Rosh Hashanah, Be'ezrat Hashem will be in Eretz Israel. But we're going to all stand in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Your process of tshuva should be done now. You start now with the process of tshuva, with the self-reflection of what you do and how you waste time, how to utilize time, what are you doing and what you're not doing, what is that you're doing and you can do more. And when you light this, even though it's a great darkness, that's why we light it at Tzedakah Kochavim, when it's dark, you should light it b'simcha gdolah. It's a good thing to be b'simcha gdolah. That's why we don't say eulogies and so on and so forth. We don't say tachanun. B'simcha gdolah, to be able, try to think about how you're going to connect to the great light of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and to actually bring what we call the awe of Gemara Tikkun. Maybe this will be the end, the makebe patish, the end result, the end actual last act before we're going to be able to really get the burst of this big projector, this big spiritual light that's going to come to this world, and would shine its light all over the world, to be shone bright like a diamond, like diamonds in the rough, literally. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.